Hello and welcome to my podcast. I'm Jessica and this is a podcast all about knitting and my knitting designs. Today is November, I have no idea. It's in the teens, I'm pretty sure it's like 15 or something. It's a Thursday, 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. If you are not new here or you came here from Instagram, you'll probably know that since my last podcast, I had my baby. We have another little baby boy, so now our family has 2 girls and 2 boys, which is pretty wonderful. So I'm really glad the teams are evened up 2 and 2. So we named our new little boy Aiden, Aiden Patrick. He's napping right now. Both boys are napping right now. And my husband is here. He's taking a paternity leave day, so he's got the girls, so I can come up here and podcast. So there will be a fair amount of Aiden-related knitting in this podcast. But who's gonna mind? It's baby knits. They're the best knits. Am I right? I am right. So, we'll start with finished objects. In my last podcast, I had done the yoke of my November sweater, and now it's done. You can see the whole thing here. I didn't put any color work in the sleeves or the hem, just in the yoke, all in shades of gray. So this is my November sweater pattern that is now available on Ravelry to go with the kid version, Little November. They're both available on Ravelry now. So if you would like to have November sweaters of your own, you can go and find the pattern. I'll put a link down in the description box below where you can find these patterns. So here's my November. It's top down in the round. It's got short rows here above the color work and then another wedge below, which I think makes it fit really nice in the neckline. Mine is out of Quince & Co. Lark. It's my favorite yarn. I suppose I should put it on for you. It fits me a bit snug at present. I have a bit more chest than usual. So if you see the pictures on Ravelry and the model pictures on Instagram, that's my sister. She usually takes the pictures, but this time I asked her to be the model. So the sleeves fit nice and slim. That was a nice, I did a 3-inch cuff and it fits nice and snug. I really hate loose cuffs, and cuffs always loosen up as you wear them, so I made sure that it fits nice and tight right now, which keeps out the cold, and my t-shirt sleeves are all messed up, and then it won't stretch out as bad when it does stretch out. So, crew neckline. I'll stand up so you can see. This is currently has negative ease for me, so it fits pretty snug, but when I'm done nursing, it will fit with about 2 to 3 inches of positive ease, which is how I designed it to be worn, which is how it's worn in the modeled pictures. But right now I have a bit of a boost, so it fits me a bit tight. So it's November. That's my first finished object for this podcast. Then I'm pretty sure these were done. I had finished knitting them last podcast, but I never told you whether they were out or not. This is the Going Home set, whose patterns are now also available on Ravelry. So if you wanted, oh, there's the detail. It's slip stitches on top of garter. So these patterns are now out on Ravelry. You can see the booties have slip stitch down the front too. You can't really see it in that. He hasn't worn these yet. There you can see the slip stitch goes down the front of the booty and all the way down the top of the foot. So those are now also on Ravelry. If you wanted to make those ones, you could find the pattern there. I'll put the link down below, of course. So those are my new designs that are out. So now we're on to baby stuff. I made little socks. This is the perfect newborn sock. I can't remember the name of the person who wrote it. You can find it on Ravelry. It's a free pattern and it comes in options for ribbing, just this ribbed version, or you can do a version where it's little cables instead of ribbing, but I did the ribbing. This is the first sock I've ever made, and I don't think it's going to turn into a sock knitter. It took forever, and they're so tiny. It took forever. It's fingering weight yarn on size 1 needles, so it's a bit smaller than I'm accustomed to, and it's just not really my thing. I mean, it took a fraction of the time of a sweater, but it's just, I don't know, not really thrilling knitting, to be honest, although they do fit him really, really well, and they stay on really well. I always roll the cuff down like this. He's pretty much outgrown them now, though, unfortunately. He's 3.5 weeks old, and he's pretty much outgrown them. He's outgrowing everything with just reckless abandon. So, these little socks, they're adorable. They're super cute on too. Yeah, but I don't know if I'm going to be much of a sock knitter. I made them with the yarn left over from this sweater. So this is Snowfall. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen a fair bit of it. Just lately. Just listening to see if I hear somebody crying. Anyway. This is Snowfall. This is a 3-month size. This little baby sweater. It's got this color work in it. Rolled neckline. I can't remember if I told you about this design in my last podcast episode or not, but I'll just tell you all about it now. So when I started designing this, the colorwork chart was much, much larger. It would have been quite a bit deeper. And I just, for some reason, didn't put it together that, you know, a baby is tiny and it needs this teeny tiny little yoke. And so I went through like 4 or 5 different versions of this chart before I finally came up with this one. It's short enough to fit on a baby yoke. But that's also why the neckline is a rolled neckline instead of ribbing. You can hardly see that. There, now you can see it. Rolled neckline, so that it would take up less space. So I would have more room to do the color work. Then it has dot stitch. Just dot stitch on the sleeves and the body, which is just really cute with the texture and the color together, which everybody on Instagram has been loving too. Super cute. Can't really see it, it's blurry back here. Okay. There we go. I can see the whole thing. The cuffs are flaring out at the end because I used the elastic bind off instead of a normal one so that it would be super stretchy to make it easier to put on him. So that's why they kind of flare a bit at the end. This one is currently in test knitting, and I plan to release the pattern for this one at the beginning of January. So first weekend in January. And if you want to make sure not to miss out, I'll put a link to my newsletter in the description box and you can sign up for my newsletter. And I really only send out emails like once a month when I have a new pattern. I don't send out very many, I don't have time to be a regular emailer. Then my next finished object, I don't know if I showed this one before or not. This is Silver Creek. This is my Silver Creek pattern, which is one of my older patterns, but I just really love it for babies. Because, I mean, look how squishy that is. It's gorgeous. This is Quids & Co. Chickadee. Pretty sure its color name is Bird's Egg. I can find it. Yeah, Bird's Egg. So he's been wearing it a fair bit, so it's kind of crusty at the top. I need to wash it. The first 2 times I put him in it, he immediately just barfed all over it. So that's that. And then I had leftover yarn, and I was bored. There we go. I like to knit while I nurse, and I didn't have anything I could knit on while I was nursing, so I just kind of scribbled together a pattern for a bonnet to match Silver Creek sweater. The squishy cables and garter stitch. This is a newborn size. I like cord ties. I may write it up and just have it be a free pattern. I don't know if I actually want to write a whole nother pattern right now. I just don't know that I want to. Yeah. So the next thing is whips. And I started his stocking, his Christmas stocking. So when I started making Christmas stockings for all of the kids, I really messed it all up and made a bunch of stockings that I just ultimately ripped out because it was just an absolute mess. It was my first foray into color work, which I should have practiced on something else, but I guess it turned out to be good practice. So the other 3 already have their stockings. They have nice stockings, but I don't have them handy. Maybe I'll show them all to you next time, when hopefully I'll have this one done. So this is his stocking. I used the German twisted cast on this time so he can have lots more presents versus the other kids only get smaller presents because theirs is just the long tail cast on. Makes the ribbing really nice and stretchy. The white section is where I will duplicate stitch his name on, and then there'll be color work down below. But I can't knit color work while I'm nursing, and almost all of my knitting time is while I am nursing, so this is kind of stalled. Got it in one of my, made this years ago, and then I used it to make Christmas stockings for my kids, and it's just been sitting in the closet, gathering dust, waiting for the next one. I've got all these charts I used or liked. So what I did is I found a Christmas stocking pattern, a free one. It was striped. I don't remember the name of it. I didn't print off the first page, it looks like. So it was just free striped Christmas stocking in worsted weight yarn, and I just took that free pattern and I added 4 stitches to make it divisible by 10 because they have you cast on 56, and I decided that it needed to be divisible by 10 to work with my charts. So I cast on 60, and then I just pulled all these charts off the internet, Pinterest and just Google searches. So stars and trees and deer and some, Scandinavian motifs. So I've got all these stuck in here. And I've got to go through and decide which ones I'm going to do for him. I've done the trees on every stocking. All of the kids have trees, so I think I have to do that one at least. But try to find something that makes it his own. So that's one of my whips, which needs to get done before Christmas. Better not forget about that one. Then my next whip is the long-awaited adult version of a bloom. So put it up here so you can see. My colorwork knitting, when I knit stranded knitting, is never nice and neat. Never, ever, ever. I'm trying to show you there. Now you can see it better. It's never nice and neat. I don't know how to get it perfectly smooth. Maybe with more practice I'll get there, but it's always rumpled when I knit it. So I've just split for the sleeves and started the body, so I'll knit about another inch and then I'll wet block it and try it on to make sure I like the fit of the yoke. Because when it's all rumpled, it just doesn't sit how it's going to sit in the end, so I'll just wet block it and then try it on and see how I like it. Can't really see what it is. So if you've been following along with me for a while, you'll have seen the Little Abloom sweaters, and this is the adult version of that. So that's what the flowers will look like, and they'll go around the shoulders, a wreath of flowers. So stockinette in the round, it's the perfect thing for right now. Just sit and nurse and knit my heart out. So yeah. That's everything I've been working on lately. This one I'm going to try to have out in March, maybe early March. But anyway, yeah. I think I'll start the test knit after I've tried the yoke on. Well, I've got to get it tech edited too, so maybe I'll start the test knit sometime in December just to give 2+ months for the test knit to run. And then hopefully we'll have it done in time to release in March, which it'll be the perfect thing for then, because it's fingering weight yarn, a lovely floral motif for when we're really sick of snow and we just can't wait for it to stop being brown and gross all the time. So I think it'll be the perfect thing for that time of year. So that's everything I've been working on. Kind of quick, but I wanted to hop on here and record a podcast real quick whilst I had the time, since my husband is here watching the kids. So anyway, if you enjoyed this podcast, then you can like and subscribe down below. And like I said, I'll have a link to my newsletter down below. So if you want to be on my newsletter list and get emails every time I release a new pattern, you can sign up for that. There's also a coupon for new subscribers, so you can go and get one of my existing patterns, 30% off. That coupon is going to expire at the end of December 2019, if you're watching this way in the future. And then I'll come up with something else. So if you want to take advantage of that 30% off coupon, you better sign up now. And like I said, that sounds dire, you better sign up now. But I only send out newsletters when I have a new pattern or something. I don't send out lots of newsletters. Yeah, so that's it. And I hope to see you next time with probably some more baby knitting, honestly. I'm going to knit a lot of stuff. This is my last baby. I'm going to take full advantage and just make baby stuff. But anyway, until next time. Bye.